What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here with my official review for Marvel Studios' Captain Marvel. Now, if you have not seen it yet, please know that there will be spoilers, so if you want to wait until the film comes out and you have a chance to go to a screening, then come back, please by all means do it. But if you've seen it or you just don't give a damn, rock with me here. Let me first and foremost give you guys my overall thoughts on the film. I enjoyed it. I liked it. And I'm not saying it as just a dude that just loves Marvel films. I'm saying this is a dude who loves the story, understands what they're doing with the story, understands what they're doing with the characters and where they're building it and where they're going with the world. Now, a lot of people were questioning and wondering how Brie Larson's performance would be. I don't have a problem with it. You know, this is basically a buddy cop movie between Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson. And the jokes that you thought you were just going to see from what we experienced in the trailers are nothing compared to the amount of jokes and humor and hilarity you get throughout this entire film. And most of that comes from Brie Larson, but the majority, I have to say, comes from the man who steals the show, and that is Ben Mendelsohn. Ben Mendelsohn is phenomenal as Talos in this freaking movie. It's crazy how hilarious he is, how much he'll have you laughing. Also, if you are a person like myself who grew up in the 90s, this movie is for you. It is such an ode and throwback to the 90s. It is set as in 1995. And then from the moment we see her fall into the Blockbuster video, we see the pointing out of the Radio Shack. We hear Salt and Pepper's What a Man. Later, we hear TLC's Waterfalls. Even to the point we get I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt. Like, you're getting so much throwback material in this, and it brings out that inner essence and even the vocabulary and stuff. There's a part where there's a recording of Carol Danvers' voice on a CD, and they put it in an old school computer with Windows 95, and they have to wait on it to load. And it's hilarious because most people don't remember that, but you had to go through that point, and God forbid your ass had AOL and you had to block the phone line, and then somebody made a phone call and kicked you off, and you was in the middle of a good ass chat where you just hit her with the ASL, and she was like, yeah, this is where I stay, and you realize she in the same city as you, and you like, word, shorty. She like, word. But nonetheless, I love that. LaShonda Lynch is phenomenal. She comes in here with the notion of, I'm gonna make sure you know me every scene I'm in, every time I'm on camera, and I dig that so much. Jude Law as Jan Rog is dope because you get to know his character. You see how he keeps reminding Bree, who is now known as Veers, like, yo, we trained you, we made you better than what you are. I helped you make you better. I just want you to be the strongest and best version of yourself. And you see that until you find out, again, spoilers, you find out he actually is the reason she's in the situation she's in today. All the other members of the Star Force are dope. Minerva, Ajman Hansu, and a couple others. I didn't get the brothers' names. My apologies. But it was just so dope. There were so many lines. Yo, you keep seeing Goose the cat in all the trailers. Goose pays off in such a major way. Look, I said there's going to be spoilers. Goose is a fucking alien, and it's crazy what he can do. You're like, yo, this alien is actually this cat, and the cat looks so cute. Also, there's so much humor with the cat. There's a point where they're blasting off into space, and the cat isn't strapped down, so he just like this. Here's some shit. And then one part when they're in space, he just floating, and he's trying to grab onto Nick Fury's arms. I also love with Nick Fury, speaking of him, the way they did the de-aging of Samuel L. Jackson in this was flawless. It didn't look weird. It didn't look like it was out of place. It was there and it worked. A lot of people have an issue with some plot holes. There are a couple plot holes, I will admit. But a lot of people say, oh, this isn't that same magic and luster from what I'm expecting going into Endgame. And it's like, yo, it's the setup going into Endgame. It's an origin without being a full-on origin story of Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, and it gets you to know who she is, how powerful she is. But I got to go into what arguably is the biggest spoiler of the entire fucking film. If you're not ready for this, leave now. I'm going to give you 3 seconds, okay? 3. What I would say is the biggest spoiler. Now, we all heard that Annette Bening, Academy Award nominee or winner, if I'm not mistaken, Annette Bening would be playing Carol Danvers' mother in the film. Well, that is not the case at all. Annette Bening is actually Marvel. Yo, it is such a dope swerve, a dope spin, because you're adding an extra element. Now, I already know what's about to happen after the general public sees this film. I know that it's going to be a bunch of those same dudes who are like, oh, Disney and all these movies are just trying to push an agenda and blah, 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 blah. They're going to lose your fucking minds talking about how, why did Annette Bening have to be Marvel? Marvel's always a strong dude and da-da-da-da-da. Shut the fuck up, okay? Y'all already know me. If you haven't been to these reviews before, if you're going to be in your feelings, leave. If you're going to be in your feelings, leave. If not, stay here and enjoy. It's a nice twist because her Marvel is actually trying to help out, and she doesn't directly save Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers actually tries to save Marvel after she's attacked. And so the way you find out how she got her abilities as well, being Carol Danvers, she didn't get them being transferred from Marvel directly like we know in the comic books and the source material. An energy core, a light speed engine core full of energy exploded, and her body absorbs it all. And that's what helps make her the most powerful person in the world. It made me ask some questions like, if anybody else would have been hit with that blast, would they exploded? Would they survive? Excuse me. Or would they exploded? Would they have survived? Would they, just absorbed all that energy? Or would they just have died? There's so much here. Now, I'm reading a lot of social media tweets. I'm reading a lot of social media posts like, oh, Captain Marvel didn't marvel me. And some people have said that, and the following comment they have behind it is, well, but she is going to be super powerful in Endgame. That's the purpose of this film. It's not to give you all of Captain Marvel. It's to introduce you to who she is, who she's about to be, and who's coming in the next grand scheme of the Marvel plan. I know we've gotten used to the point when we introduce certain characters in the MCU that we have to see exactly who they are, get full in depth with them. And I do feel we get in depth with Carol Danvers. I don't know what a lot of people wanted. I saw some complaints about that, saying that we don't go full in depth with Carol Danvers. We don't really get to know her, but you do. You're not supposed to get to know Carol Danvers from birth, Carol Danvers from the beginning of the Air Force. What you're getting to know is a woman who's a member of the Kree, right? She has this power. She doesn't remember who she is, but she has vague memories of her abilities. And we see these flashbacks about herself. And then as she comes back to Earth, certain things start to happen to help her recoup some of her memories and understand more of her humanity as opposed to being Kree. That is what you're learning about the character. You're learning about this character who she knows, yes, she was this person, but now she's this person. She was one thing, now she's another. And I don't understand why for some people it's not that easy for them to get, but I digress nonetheless. I think this movie is fun. It is a very fun ride. This movie's going to do similar to what Wonder Woman did. It's a very empowering movie for not just women, for young girls. This movie is definitely for the young girls. So for somebody like myself who has a young daughter, she sees this, and granted, she's just gonna love it because she's 5. But the young girls coming up into their teenage years, they're gonna feel real empowered seeing this because it does push the whole you can do what you want. The introduction to Monica Rambeau is perfect because everything they set Monica up with, don't be surprised if you do see her in Endgame. Don't be surprised if you do see her going forward in the MCU. Anything is possible, man. Look, I know I always say all these Marvel movies are great. No, there's some Marvel movies that just aren't, especially some MCU movies. This movie, I understand what it is. I understand where it's going. I didn't need to be super duper blown away. A lot of the visual effects, I was just off like, yo, this is amazing. When I see some of the fight scenes, I'm like, dude. But I know what this is leading to. This is leading to the next film, which is a month and some change behind, being Avengers Endgame. And let me say this also, when speaking of Endgame again, Thanos' ass is getting whooped on sight. Just there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But these are just my initial thoughts, my initial review of it. I like it, and I want people to go in with an open mind and not have these super duper high expectations. Just go, let's see what this movie is about. And again, yes, you're going to find plot holes. I get it. It's there. I'm not going to even stray from it and say there are none. There's kind of a big one that makes you question it, but it's like in Marvel's logic and in your universe, they can do certain things. So we'll see how that goes. But nonetheless, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, click on the notification bell. If you've seen this, tell me what you enjoyed. Tell me what you didn't enjoy. Tell me what you're looking forward to and more. All right? Leave those comments below. And also, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington. That's MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington for real. Make sure you join the Supervillain Squad on Patreon. Patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I just spelled that for you. Also, check out the Mad Titan podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, listen on. I get you caught up on everything in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. And you can call the Mad Titan Hotline. I'm going to have the number here because I can't remember it. The number will be here. Call the Mad Titan Cast Hotline and get your questions, comments in, and you can be heard on the next episode of the podcast as well. I will holler at you guys later. Take care. I'm out of here. Peace.